everybody, and welcome. Why would you?
Do you want to go again?
No, it's too late now. We're sticking with it.
Soft clap.
Hello,
Soft
everybody, and welcome back to Dungeons, Dice, and Dudes, where we combine all three of those things, and magic happens. Tagline, there you go.
No, it's good.
He's done it.
Apologies for the slight gap in between this episode and the last.
Hole, more like,
Life is a thing, and as things slowly go back to normal, we can all go and do stuff again. So it just becomes a little bit more difficult to meet up, but we shall persevere.
Life gets in the way.
well, there it is.
Sai's making a little tower.
It's gonna go.
Fucking nerd. Give me your lunch money.
Sorry. You now own all my possessions.
I just got real good there.
So before we get into the time-honoured tradition of recapping the previous episode, we've got a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. First off, just straight off the bat, we are actually a team member down. There is no Danilo this session. He is unfortunately ill, so that's something just to be aware of. But regardless of that, maybe you're confused as to how. I mean, you wouldn't be because you'd be listening to it right now. But perhaps you want to know different ways that you can listen to this audio format of ours. Sai, nerd.
Hello. Sorry, let me just push my glasses up so I can read the screen.
The light reflected.
So Dungeons, Dice and Dudes is, as always, available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as the RSS feed on the Anchor website, whatever that means. However, you can also find us on Google Podcasts, Overcasts, Breaker, and 4 new platforms in Castbox, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and Stitcher. The end.
You should listen to it on every platform.
Yeah,
every
please.
episode on every platform.
Tell your friends, tell your loved ones, trick people into listening to it, force people to listen to it.
Yeah.
Because they'll have a good time. Guaranteed.
100%. Mark, specifically you, just keep doing what you're doing. Listen to it on every single one of those.
Number one fan, right there.
Tim.
Hi.
I'm curious though, maybe people would like a little bit extra. Maybe they want some candid photos of us playing, some memes, maybe just a nice picture of Sai's bulge. Where could they go and find this sort of thing?
I'm so glad you asked.
Seamless.
So you can find us on Instagram at Dungeons, Dice and Dudes, or if you are more of a tweeter, which I'm sure you are.
That's like a speaker.
A platform that does not go down.
Just cancel everyone instead. But cancel that.
Just like my bulge.
Find on Twitter on dudes_dungeons. Dudes. The second one.
Are you sure?
Final answer.
Like a friend.
We'll post kind of what's going on if we're not when we're not recording, and cool backstage content.
Cool.
Love that.
Keep you in the loop.
And as Danilo is not here with us, Sai, I'm expecting you to give us your best impression of Danilo delivering what I would like to say is a almost flawless.
He's done that so many times.
He's done it so many times. It's great. So you've got
down pat.
Oh, it's good. It's good. So go on, Sai.
Yes, if Let's Play or actual play isn't your thing and you're more interested in the crunchy mechanics of how D&D works, then consider listening to Thinking Critically, a D&D discussion. A discussion show with different guests each episode. We take a single concept or idea and discuss what that means within the D&D framework to help you get the most out of your sessions, whatever side of the screen you sit on. Consider it an NPR style bite-sized mix of thought-provoking analysis and humorous anecdotes. And that you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Google one, the orange one, the red one, and the RSS feed one.
I feel like it was a little bit wobbly at first, and then you kind of hit your stride, and I could hear the Danilo impression coming
Yeah, it
through.
was flowing through.
It was in the room, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens when, we became one when we lived together. Not many people know that, and then we separated. No, it's
It's like Spice Girls to become
yeah, we
one.
were one
biblically,
entity,
yeah.
and then we dispersed and led to two separate lives.
Like
but-
an amoeba.
Yeah. Our consciousness is always connected. He says hello, by the way.
And George and Rob, do you have anything that you've got that you're like, you should check this out?
Don't forget our YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was a
Still
thing.
there. still going. Apparently it has some recommended now, that channel.
Hey.
All sorts of memes. But yeah, do feel free to look for Dungeons, Dice and Dudes on YouTube. We are an episode behind, but we'll be uploading that as soon as we can.
Yep.
And you can carry on enjoying it on that platform if that's your preferred choice. So
And that's still going up with the audio and then the...
it'll just have like a holding image. Yeah.
Yep.
Just like
We should create like a montage. Like every so often take a picture and then you could like splice it in.
You mean a slideshow?
For like key moments, just like a little.
I was thinking some subliminal messaging as well, maybe.
Just like a little moment.
Play it again. Consider
You know, like YouTube essays, those kind of videos. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
something
like
like
word
that.
essays.
I
Like,
don't
know
know.
what that is.
Law, you know, we watch like a really deep law video on some nerdy shit.
I'm not much of a
Constantly.
YouTube guy.
I just-
I'm a big YouTube guy.
I just look
Video
for
essays are the shit.
Giovanni Giorgio memes. That's all I use YouTube for. My name is Giovanni Giorgio.
You're
Everybody
referring
calls
to...
me Giorgio.
Julie Giorgio.
Yeah.
I just thought he was referring to Pokemon, but that's fine.
Oh, Ash's dad.
Fabled Team Rocket leader.
Ash's dad, get out.
There's probably a video essay about it.
Right, that's the rest of this session.
Apparently, Giovanni left Ash's mum, and then Ash's mum started dating a Mr. Mime. But that's a whole different. That's a whole different thing.
That's
There's a video of that.
gross.
Yeah.
Problematic.
I've seen the evidence.
Mr. Mime.
Yeah.
Nothing on my end just yet. Although there may be some stuff coming soon that I will praise you of when it's ready.
Ooh,
Big
yeah.
tea.
Exciting.
Nursing a seminar.
I'm all wet round the gills.
Drink it. Cool. Well, I think that takes care of just about everything. So, I was going to put some ambience on.
I'm at the spa.
Ambiance.
I really hope this isn't going to eventually, like, the people that make this aren't going to eventually just come and knock on my door and just kick my teeth in.
Like, you owe me £1 million.
So, in the last session, the Death Hums, which I think is your official title on paperwork at the moment.
Paperwork.
At the moment.
Yeah, and in Monolum, that's probably going to be widely what you're known as. So, unless you decide to change it at some point. The Death Hums had just, kind of recapping quite a bit here, had just successfully won their first round in the Gauntlet of Kord. Fighting various creatures from far off jungles, the groups faced off against an elephant, a screaming bird-type creature, and seemingly were-tigers. Taking minimal damage, the group was afforded time before their next bout to come up with any strategies and rest how they wished. After interacting and with the other groups and seeing the outcome of some of them, it eventually became the Death Hum's turn again. You headed out to the arena, though not before Owain gleaned some insight from the adjudicator of sorts for each fight, and kind of was able to discern that this would not be easy. Entering the ring under the announcement of the fight being dubbed Ride the Lightning, you positioned yourselves as the sound of crackling energy echoed from one of the other entrances to the arena. This was followed slowly by a loud hiss sound. Emerging with incredible speed, erupted a rather larger than usual Behir. Going toe to toe, you held your own for the most part, until unfortunately Ulysses was swallowed by the creature.
Lucky man.
And after having already suffered a significant amount of damage, fell unconscious inside of its stomach acid. Ulrich fought on to hold the creature's focus until, unfortunately, he was also overpowered and fell once more.
He fell.
With limited options and even more limited spells, as the Behir bear down on the tieflings Sabine and Quinn. Quinn unleashed a powerful blight spell on the creature, which eroded the very flesh from the creature itself, leaving just a husk behind. Gathering their party members, you left the arena, crowd cheering your name, heads held high, but hearts low at the prospect of a deceased Ulrich.
Same shit, different week, mate.
I hate how nonchalant it's like, fucking whatever.
I'm actually concerned about this one because, like, this is the third time I've died, and I feel like it's a. It's not a thing that not a thing that can continue happening forever.
No, you're probably going to start running out of hit points.
Yup.
So.
Trade offer.
You find yourselves in the pit area where you were being held previously. After a brief discussion with the other groups, you had sent one of the guards in this area to look for a holding chamber of sorts, as you are concerned of what could happen with Ulrich's corpse.
It's really bad gas.
So he has gone off to find that out. You're still waiting for him to come back, but otherwise the floor is yours.
Well, fuck. That went poorly, I think.
Dead noise.
No,
didn't mean to sound like I was gagging on a penis.
a dead noise is just silence.
Apparently not. Sometimes they even sit up. I'm almost
when they're getting a massage.
I'll be quiet now.
Yeah, no, but that didn't really go how I thought it would go either.
He's fallen before, right?
Yeah.
And he's come back in various ways.
We're keeping our voices down.
Well, to an extent, because I don't know who's privy to that information.
He might be back.
Well, we'll see. How long does it normally take?
Shit. How long has it taken the past? DM, I've forgotten, but Sabine would probably remember. It's like it's
I'm
like
not talking about teeth on the lips.
How many times have you died now?
3.
It's 3 times. So I'm pretty sure that typically it takes anywhere from like 12 to 24 hours.
Okay.
You guys had quite a long rest previously when you had fought the dragon.
That's it. Yeah.
And just as a note, he only really became violent after Frederick had attempted to revive him. Seemingly some sort of magic, like kind of fighting against it. Yeah.
So yeah, it'll take a little while to come back, if he comes back again. Maybe
Sure.
like a day.
Okay. Well,
But
I need some time to think about this, because this is really fucking embarrassing.
you're still here, right?
Sure, by the grace of our friend Quinn, who seems to be sulking.
I'm not sulking. I'm just thinking, contemplating things. Actually, thank you.
Brilliant.
Very good.
It's going to be a minimum.
I'd like to give you an hour to think about.
Like I guess we better get ready for the next round, right?
You're seriously
Straight in there.
You're seriously not serious about carrying on, are you?
I'm really serious about that. I'm up for it. Come on.
Seriously? We can't go back out there.
Why?
Well, we're down our tank.
Yeah. We can do it still,
Well,
right?
No.
We got by on the skin of our teeth on the last one due to our least experienced fighter bailing us out. And I don't think he has anything else to say on the matter. Because he's completely spent at this point. I don't have much healing left in me either.
Yeah,
no matter how much I pray. She's not ignoring me.
But
perhaps you need to go to her house and talk to her there through the window or something.
He's already packed his stuff by the time you finish that sentence.
Of course, I'm into the temple, but I'm essentially spent as well. I'm no good to anyone outside of having a pointy stick, which doesn't do a great deal against fucking lightning lizards.
well, maybe the next thing's got a really, bad thing with pointy sticks. You just, it might be the only thing we need. You just don't know.
What I do know is I can't face that crowd again.
Why?
Because I fucking nearly died out there.
No, but you didn't.
I'm supposed to be the glory hunter, the champion, and I got swallowed. I was fucking useless, and I can't do it.
Well, maybe you should get back out there and prove them wrong.
No, the point is I can't swim.
I agree with you, Steve. We should definitely not show our faces to anyone in that audience ever again. And just maybe keep them covered for as long as possible and just leave here as quickly as possible.
Do you know on the makeup again? I can do it again. I can give you a different style. Make you look real pretty.
I think they might become pretty, yeah. I don't
What have you got left, Quinn? Come on. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. As you're kind of conversing, you do hear some guards come back in, one of which being the one that you had originally sent off. And there's about 4 of them, being that Ulrich is quite a big individual. And so he's like, he might like freak out, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I told you guys, I wasn't making it up.
No, seriously, she looks to ones that you should probably just lock his body up for a little while.
Okay, well we've got some chains, and there's a couple of holding cells not too far from here, just in case someone loses, they get a bit rowdy. We've got to do something about it. But there is this for you. I mean, any one of you, but there you go. It's just like a rolled up piece of parchment.
Okay. Oh. Was it a parchment text?
Right. Well. Right. I'll start at the legs. You, Tez. Do you want to work on the arms? And then they just start going to town, like just chaining Ulrich up.
Well, we'll come and. Where is this place? Sorry, just so we know.
Oh, it's and he just explains that it's like maybe about a few minutes, whatever that is, away from where you are currently.
We'll drop by over the next 2 days and just see if anything changes.
He may not return as we are expecting. We don't know. But if history serves, in a day or so, he may come back. Not be especially happy about having died.
And don't be near his body. Make sure you lock it away.
Okay, do we need a priest or something?
No, I wouldn't recommend.
Like a young priest and an old.
I knew you were gonna say that. I just fucking knew it.
Gonna fall. Okay.
He's,
Okay.
So you're familiar with the concept of magic. Not to be condescending.
Look, I had a simple education, but yes, I am familiar with magic.
So the friend of ours that's chained up, quite rightly, was a wizard cursed him to never die properly. It's heavy, big responsibility, but he.
Make a deception check. It'd be like a DC 10.
Natural 20.
Oh!
Bamboozled.
Wizards are tricky bastards. No offence. It just looks over at Quinn. It's just like.
Just 1,000-yard stare.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fiddling with his book.
Yeah. So we do our best for our friend, but the. I'm sorry. What?
The can is really making me nervous. Please, no. Stop.
But we do our best for him, and we'd like to make sure that when he comes back, he will be disorientated and be like, "Oh, I thought I was dead. I'm alive now. What the fuck? Oh, I'm a big, very strong orc. Don't be in the way."
Okay. I mean, I'll make sure that they're on the outside.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, I mean, hopefully he comes back looking better than he is now. And he kind of gestures towards him, and as they're chaining him up, because of the Behir taking a lot of his face off, most of from the top of his crown down to the bottom of his jaw is just exposed skull.
That's hard.
That's yeah. No,
Just lots of scars.
I certainly hope so.
Should we put a wrap on his head?
It wouldn't hurt.
Okay. Yeah. Get some
Very,
cloth.
very kind of you.
Hey, that's alright. I've had some run-ins with wizards before.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some sights working here as well.
Oh, yeah. They did teach me one trick, though.
What's that?
Nice.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
We learned that at Temple.
That's just my fun.
Oh.
Very
Really?
Very clever.
Crazy, right?
That's
Crazy.
amazing.
For our audio listeners, Nathan did the thumb trick.
He's a simple man.
And now I
Making
can't
his
sit
way in the
down.
universe.
Do I need to roll another deception check to make him believe that was actually?
I think he's so proud of himself.
Sure.
He's yeah.
Yeah.
I did well today. So he takes his leave. The four of them, under great strain, managed to lift him up.
Before you go, where did this come from?
Oh, I got handed it. Oh, by messenger. Oh, it's so heavy.
What did the messenger look like?
Oh, he looked like a guy. I don't know. Come on, lift with your backs, lads. It's not the way you should do it.
No.
That's gonna go.
All five.
All 383 pounds.
What's that?
Well, it's a note. Sabine goes to open it and read it.
Okay, yeah, if I could just get you to roll a... No, I'm joking. I wouldn't do that to you.
Smallpox.
I wouldn't do that to you. So it is just a small piece of parchment. The only... on the actual, what is that?
Seal?
Seal. There you go.
Yeah.
Stamp seal. There appears to be, the impression of, a boar. But you open it up.
Or on the floor.
Bore your hole.
It simply reads, "If you need another, I will take his place."
Oh.
3 7.
And is it just in common or?
Just in common. It's
Yeah.
not the best handwriting in the world, and it's just signed "A friend."
A friend. I show it to the group. I'm guessing this is if we want to continue with the tournament.
Oh fuck.
But we have a friend.
We
I mean, they could have given more specifics. What they're good at, their height, whether they're single.
Does
results.
does that seal mean anything to you?
Does it mean anything to me?
Make an intelligence check.
Oh.
About 15. It's intelligence modifier.
Intelligence modifier. Oh, it's that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
12.
12. Seems vaguely familiar, but you've seen balls before, so.
Mostly on the floor.
God damn it.
God damn. Okay. I don't know. I don't really know how I meant to find this person, but if we wanted to go back in.
Well, I know how I feel. Owain.
I'd rather get out of here than trust a stranger's letter.
I would ask Quinn, but he doesn't seem particularly engaged with much of what's going on.
He's still just silent. And now he's reading.
I agree with Ulysses.
Okay.
I'm afraid if you want to go in, if we're going to do this democratically, you're outvoted.
It would seem that way. Okay. Let's leave it. If Ulrich doesn't come back, though, that was all for nothing.
I just want to...
Just putting it out there.
Fuck you, Sabine.
I just want to have a look around and see if anyone is
No, I'm right.
looking in that direction. Just for the sake of trying to figure out who may have wrote this letter. Could still be in the vicinity.
Sure, make a perception check.
22.
22. Other than the gilded marauders, who seem to be kind of getting ready to head out for their next bout, as the crowd is kind of starting. Even though they were chanting your name, they already seem to have moved on.
Oh man,
thick crowd, yeah.
The commotion with the guards coming in and chaining up the body of Ulrich does have a couple of the Valkyries kind of looking over. For most of them, in more of like a quizzical kind of way.
Yeah.
There is only one, which is the the fire genasi, is the only one that seems to be concerned. But yeah, nobody seems to be. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be anybody of interest.
Okay. I think we should take our leave and find somewhere to stay locally, keep a low profile, and then come back when we think Ulrich may arise and maybe do what needs to be done if he is hostile.
Always thought we're killing me, aren't
Before we do that, there is one thing I'd like to try, and I'd like to walk over to. Is it a gnome? Was the gnome fella that was like the guy? That was,
oh, the guy at the desk. Yeah.
I'd kind of like to lean over the desk and just say, "Why don't you take a walk? 5 minutes."
I don't know why I would do that particularly. I've got a lot of paperwork that I need to
I'm
sort
going to
through.
come over and just be like, because we asked you to,
You've
and just
earned-
hold the hammer.
You've earned a break. Take a 5-minute break.
Say make a flat intimidation check. Be a DC of 20 because there are guards around,
it's his
so
job, right?
yeah.
Nope.
Don't worry about it.
What did you
On
get?
second thought,
Say it.
Say my name. That's a 7 for me.
Oh.
I'd like to think that he said this as like the disguise is just like melting.
Yeah, you do still have like
Yeah.
the makeover on your face, but because of the sheer amount of sweat, your face is like resembling putty.
Know that feel.
And he just kind of looks you up and down and kind of refers to you more than Owen. Look, I understand that you have lost a companion today, and you know that shit happens. I've seen a lot.
Yes.
But hey, you know, did a good job.
No, we didn't. But thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for your kind words.
Don't worry. At least you don't, pray to Kord himself, because the head priest was here, and that would just be embarrassing.
Mid sentence.
Owen goes to put his hand on Ulysses' shoulder, but he's already just
It's
gone.
like,
So as you are making your way away from the gnome, the Guild of Marauders head out to take their match. But yeah, if you would have to formally make your kind of exit from the tournament. Yes.
But you've got a friend in someone.
Ulysses would like to try and find a quiet corner and pray. And just ask Kord for guidance.
Yeah. Unless you've got any kind of spells specifically to kind of...
I don't believe I do, not in terms of like commune
or
or anything like that.
unless you, Owain, have anything. But you can take a moment, kind of try and reach out. And though it is difficult because your whole path before you is seeking out glory, and any kind of loss is almost a stain on your legacy.
Yeah.
And you've been riding high for a little bit, and this unfortunately does remind you of a time not too long ago.
That I haven't been riding high.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll throw up a little bit in my mouth. I don't get a huge amount back. It's like I don't know what I was expecting. But yeah, I stow my blade and kind of slightly tearfully look up at the rest of the team and be like, yeah, we should go. We should go.
Still at the desk, I'm just going to turn to the guy and be like, and look back and just be like, if we wanted to withdraw, how would we go about that?
I'm sorry, I have to speak up just a little bit.
If we wanted to withdraw ourselves from the tournament prematurely, how would we go about such an endeavour?
Oh, if you want to quit. Oh, yes.
And I actually look back at the group just to see if they've clocked anything.
For the most part, they seem to be all dealing with what's happened in their own way. I'd say probably the only one that seems to be acknowledging what you're doing is Sabine, just kind of keeping an eye on you. Yes, I mean, it does happen. Some people just cannot continue, and others, pull out. It's dangerous competitions, not easily won. I can send a guard off just to deliver a letter to the higher ups, just to let them know that you won't be competing anymore. But it's quite easily doable.
And our friend in the holding chamber.
Yes.
I'd like to have an audience with him in 2 or 3 days. I may or may not be accompanied by everyone else, but would that be possible?
I mean, he's your friend.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if you were... All the staff are leaving after the tournament. So.
No, there'll be plenty of people still working. I mean, pretty much at the end of the day, that's kind of the end of the festival, really, so you kind of go back to business as usual.
Okay, well, I'll be back.
I'll still be here.
Before we make any decisions, I'm gonna Sabine is gonna just go off and try and look for this friend. She doesn't know what she's looking for. She's basically just gonna wander about, looking for anyone and kind of holding this letter up and just being like, anyone?
scratch their chin.
Yeah. Friend. Melon. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find this person because
I did just flip a D2
Mhm.
and I got a 1 instead of a 20. So it's fate telling me this is a bad idea.
Bad ideas lead to
Well,
the best times.
The rest of you are welcome to hold fire for as long as you would like to. For the most part, as long as you don't interfere with the others that are still going ahead, that's fine. If you want to attempt to go around this vast coliseum and try and find someone that might know something about this letter, you're more than welcome to. It would be a high investigation. Call it. Just call it.
What was the check to work out if we could know who that is? I don't suppose I would have any inkling.
It was more so for Sabine as. I suppose I'll do it for Quinn because it's more so they've been travelling with him for the longest, so they're more likely to know what it is, even though we all know.
yeah.
He does have a high.
Shall I roll my 10?
Just seeing if he. It's a natural 3, so even. I'd say Quinn is too distracted to really be of too much use at the moment. So you can either go for a DC 25 investigation or DC 20 but with disadvantage.
Let's go disadvantage.
Okay.
No, that's 10.
10. You spend a good 20 minutes or so kind of roaming around trying to find the original guard that you had spoken to, trying to see if there are any kind of, just for lack of a better term, servant like messengers that might have kind of carried a message for you. But after asking around, nobody really knows anything.
Okay.
Yeah. You do find the place that Ulrich is being kept in.
Oh, okay.
Which is just like down a few corridors from where you are, as you're already almost like in the pits of the Colosseum ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he see any beasts?
You do find a rather large set of double doors after you go down into like more of like a subsection that's not as well lit, but there are quite a few guards there, and yeah, just a large set of doors that seem to have like various cuts. There's like acid burns, there's all sorts of things that have perhaps tried to either get out or they've had trouble getting into this area.
Spicy.
Supposed to meet the boats.
Sabine just comes back to you guys and she just looks really kind of dishevelled and just like, I didn't find anyone.
How are the Marauders getting on in this time?
So in the time that you've been doing that, the Marauders come back victorious in their fight, relatively unscathed. A couple of them have some minor scratches and cuts, but nothing too bad. And by the time you get back, the Valkyries are about to go off to do their second fight.
Was that the last fight for the Marauders then?
No, that would have been the second.
So we'd be the first up in the third round if we were to go.
Yeah. So you've still got the Valkyries match to decide on what you want to do.
Well, I feel like none of you want to do this, so I think that's it then.
It's not a matter of want.
Because you want to do it, right?
Of course I want to do it.
Come on, let's do it.
No.
Just me and you, come on.
It's the thing that gives me value is being able to win. And we did it by the skin of our teeth. I'm not super confident that we would do it again, and the cost seems too great.
Yeah, but think Think of the glory.
Valkyries! Valkyries, come on now. We're up next.
And we don't know who this friend is. They could be really fucking cool. They could have some really powerful shit. But I must admit, if we're not all in, then we're not all in. Then she just looks to you. And then...
SMH.
And then Book Boy. Yeah. No, he is. Still scrolling. I don't think we're going to be able to make it without all of us.
No. And I dare say, without I don't know how much help I'd be.
I think you're really devaluing yourself, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name.
Oh, hello. Nigel.
Nigel.
Yeah. Mr. Nigel.
Have you perchance sent that missive off to let whoever needs to know that we'll be quitting?
No, not yet. It's up to you. Shouldn't take long.
Perchance, who is that going to? When you say the higher ups?
That would likely go up to the king.
Could it be worded in such a way that we're unable to continue?
I mean, I can word it however you like.
An inability would be preferable, as opposed to
How do you spell that?
INABILTY.
Perfect. Lovely stuff. Inability. I really should get better at spelling. Right, yes. Any other requirements for this message?
Just to what we were talking about earlier, granting passage for a couple of days'
We
time.
need only turn up and ask.
Yes. Most of this is just so the king can make an announcement that you're not part of it, and then spreading it out to any bookies, all that sort of thing. Obviously, you know, people had some money running on you, but yes.
You had money.
I put money down on us.
Fuck.
How much?
Oh, not massive, no.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Could have been fucking long odds.
Right, well, I'll send this off then. Okay. Right. Excuse me. Yes, there you go. Thank you. Stick the big man upstairs. Oh, lovely. Cool. Well, as you have now officially withdrawn from the competition, I'm going to have to ask you to vacate. You're more than welcome to head out to the stands, watch the rest of the competition. That's absolutely fine. But you can't stay here.
Thank you.
Could you get a message to Dantin that we're staying at wherever we're staying? I'd like to speak with him at some point.
Yes. I mean, didn't realise I became everybody's messenger, but I suppose I don't have too much else on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's what I do. Paperwork.
I'm guessing we don't want to stay and watch because, you know.
Do you know, there is a morbid curiosity. I may grab a nail and cheer on the Valkyries.
Okay. I didn't think you'd say that. I'll do the same. Sounds like a great plan.
Or 3. Yes.
So you guys begin to make your way up and head out towards the stands. It doesn't take you long because you are then led by someone who escorts you. Ulrich.
Oh,
yeah, baby. Let me just get something up for
I
them.
need a bag.
Oh, that's the wrong thing.
You wake up in the back of a car.
You're finally awake.
Yeah, you're finally awake.
What's in the back of the car? A Toyota Corolla.
2 Toyota Corollas.
Check in the glove compartment. Diamonds.
Give them to the man with the casino. Put it on red. Oh my god, I've won.
It's a long lost heir.
And what's he got in his pocket? Another Toyota Corolla.
Oh. Ulrich.
Hi.
You feel yourself bathing in a thick, inky blackness.
So my own stench then.
After a while, as your thoughts kind of run through your mind of what you could have done differently, what's going to happen now if you don't come back, you eventually feel a soft light kind of creeping in, and you can almost start to discern objects, movement. If I could get you to make a perception check for me.
Okie dokie. 11.
11. As you try and strain your eyes open to kind of pull in as much detail, there isn't a massive amount that you can see, but you do see that there's stone floor in front of you. The light is more of like a hazy red, and there does appear to be two people talking. One, a familiar voice, and another which belongs to someone you've never heard before, but a far deeper, more of a baritone type voice.
Can I discern what they're saying?
Not a massive amount. Even though it feels like a genuine physical struggle just to see as much as you are. This darkness seems to be pressing in on you and almost like deafening you. But you hear the odd word here or there. Because you're specifically trying to listen, I'll let you roll again. It'd be a harder DC to actually make out specifics.
Let's be specific. Cool. That's 7.
7. You can't hear much. You make out the words.
Don't like it when he goes and grabs things.
Brother.
Mm.
Soon. And the gnome.
What does it all mean, Basil? Brother, gnome, soon.
You then start to hear a couple of footsteps come up to you, and you feel a cold, bony, live hand place itself upon your cheek.
Can I speak?
You can't. You just tilt your head up so that your eyes meets his. Oh, we're getting very close, aren't we? Fills me with joy to see you this close. I really am going to enjoy using you. Well, don't want you seeing any more though, do we? And he just runs his fingers over your eyelids and you are sunken back into darkness.
That's horrifying, thank you.
We're quite alright. Anyway, for you, you make your way up to the stands. You're actually not in the spectator. Well, actually, you probably would be as you were competing, and you have gotten along with the king. So you are led up to where the king is spectating. You do not have a direct audience, but you are among some of the more noble people of Monilan.
Can I do a quick check to see these nobles, or identify them at least?
Make a perception check so we can see.
I was going to ask, is Oryx's mate up there?
Yeah, he wouldn't be hiding. Yeah, you see him there. He's with the same group that he was with before.
That's a little dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Ooh, baby.
There are various noble people here. You do spot some people of elvish race. You only see a couple that wear familiar clothing to what is worn natively in your homeland. It is not the people. You don't recognise them to be the people that you are connected with.
Okay.
But it seems that you are not the only person that would travel from the islands.
I'll take a couple of steps back, but still just try and act as inconspicuous and front on as possible.
Yeah.
As we're walking out, if Sabine starts noting that there's like nobles and all sorts, are we still all like covered in shit and like grossness from? If so, she wants to look to Quinn and be like, "Can you do your thing? At least do something." For
Quinn kind of pretty much just like staring his eyes at the floor, just kind of waves a hand and just casts prestidigitation just to clean you all up, get you smelling nice, looking clean.
Thank you.
No more blood, no more entrails.
She just slaps on the shoulder and says, "You're doing great. Well done."
Thanks.
And continue walking up. Oh, you did a check. Did you? Did you go check?
I just asked if Rex's friend was there, which I wasn't asked to refer.
Yeah, so you can see that the king's seat is pretty close to the edge of this balcony area. So you walk through where you were brought into originally and push out onto the balcony, and there are like various seating areas where people can sit down, have tables, drinks brought to them. You're more on like the very edge of this, because even though you participated, you're still not of nobility. You're relative strangers to the city. But you have a decent enough viewing of the Valkyries, and they seem to be engaging with these two bulbous looking creatures, somewhat like warped, discoloured skin, long claws, and like bile or something dripping out of their mouths. Each creature seems to be about like 9-10 feet tall. And they're doing okay. They're struggling a little bit, but after a while they do manage to persevere and push through this bout. Some of them not looking too hot. Quite this many bouts in a row is tough for any group to handle. But they walk out, heads held high. Crowd is chanting their name. And they exit, and then there's like an announcement. There will be a brief exhibition. Please get your gift shop items, please. Discounts last whilst in stock. Thank you.
I would get the first opportunity of one of the people with that they're bringing drinks out to not particularly roughly, but to kind of grab them by the shoulder and be like,
"Oh, yes.
An ale, if that's not too much trouble."
Certainly. Anything else for the table?
Any rosés or anything?
Rosé? I believe that we have quite a rich red wine. I can see if there's something
take
else.
The red, and then 2 ales for him.
2 ales for yourself?
Mead, if you have it.
Anything for you, sir? Gesturing towards Quinn, who
He'll have a lemonade.
just kind of silently nods. With a straw.
And if it's not too much trouble, I'll just keep them coming.
Certainly, absolutely. Well done, by the way.
Kind of you.
Makes his way away.
That's nice.
That was nice.
That was the letter guy.
So after a while, your drinks are brought. What is everybody's passive perception again?
Mine is.
I really need to write this down.
Mine's 10.
19.
19. You notice Ulrich's friend, Durgob, every now and again passes a glance in just your general direction.
I think he likes you.
Sabine's got the note in hand. She's just kind of like putting it to the side of her head and hoping he looks over. And she's like this one. If he does, and just goes, just like that. Just pulls a bit of the face like, it didn't happen.
Because he stands quite a decent distance above everybody else, and as he kind of like makes eye contact with you, and you're just like
rubbing the note.
He just gives you just the slightest nod and continues looking out.
Yeah. I think I know who our friend is now.
That tracks. That makes sense. It seems obvious in hindsight.
Gonna fucking well.
Some more time passes. And the Gilded Marauders come out for their final bout.
Gilded Tallywhacks.
Oh, the crowd is going mad for them. And you see that the king's sons are also particularly. Yes, I've got 1,000 gold on these boys, and get it done. Gun done. Gun done. Gun done. Gestures over to the servant. Fire a gun for me.
Yeah, what's my lord?
But they take their positioning. You can not that you can hear much from this distance, but you see Danton at the front, kind of posturing to the crowd.
Fucking prick.
He's good, isn't he?
He really is.
And you see emerging from a gate at the very far end of the arena. You see something round kind of moving out of the darkness. It just seems like a mass of meat. But as the Gilded Marauders begin to advance, you see what looks like specks of white appearing on its head. And then a rather large eyelid opens up. And there is a large currently blue eye looking down at them.
Would I know what that is?
Yeah.
You can all make, I guess history or nature, whichever you want. Like DC 10.
14.
14.
13.
13.
Yeah, you've all been around enough, and you've been on the road for a while now, and you in particular have actually fought something, a cousin, somewhat, of this particular creature.
Yeah.
You had fought a spectator. This is a beholder.
Quite excitedly, I kind of lunge forward, like, fucking hell.
Yeah. You do hear like there's some gasps in the crowd from probably the few people that actually know what this is, the more bookish of the crowd.
What's Quinn's reaction to this?
I could kill that. Back to reading this book. But they begin, and whilst there is some close calls, you do see the red-skinned tiefling manages to get behind the creature as they draw a lot of its focus to them, and does something. You're not entirely sure what it is, but there seems to be almost like a portal of some sort that engulfs this creature momentarily. And it suddenly reappears, but you can almost feel like you can hear the screams of hell itself as it appears burnt, and some of its stalks are like now missing.
Very cool.
Send it to another plane. Motherfucker.
Just hat.
Do that to one of you in that one shot.
Yeah. Is it Hell Through Hell?
Yeah.
Hell through
Yeah.
hell.
Oh yeah.
During this, however, I get you free to make a perception check. I'll get Quinn to make one as well.
7.
20.
8.
You guys are enjoying the fight. It's as much as you hate them, they are very skilled combatants. Danton, of course, quite flashy, but the others do seem to be quite a cohesive team. You, Sabine, as the fight progresses, you do spot that in the crowd, kind of just off to your right-hand side, closer to where the actual stands kind of meet the shield that protects this the arena. You see people dressed in similar clothing to those that you had met on the road. The Brotherhood.
Those weird guys.
Oh yeah.
And
Are they doing anything?
when the Redskin Tiefling did that particular move, you saw them kind of seem to turn into each other and suddenly leave.
You know those weird guys we saw on the road? The Brotherhood? The ones?
I recall the day I joined you.
They just all... They're here and they all just left at the same time.
Have you had any dealings with them before that night?
No. I don't think I have. So,
Who are these people?
when we were on the road, we were all there, weren't we? Yeah.
Ulysses was
Before
there.
him.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we were on the road and these weird guys... I don't know, what did they want?
What name did they go by? The
The
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
I'm just trying to find the notes. I can give you their names specifically. But whilst I look for that, you know that they specifically their mission seemed to be to find people that were given power unjustly, or at least unjustly in their eyes. And whilst for the most part it sounded, good, it also seemed a little bit like their judgment of who is deserving of power and who isn't. It's not really based on anything.
Prejudice.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. It's... Yes, they probably have helped people, but at the same time, maybe...
Just doing what they think's right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they might be going for someone in the Guild of Marauders. Murder.
Murder.
Well,
Brotherhood of the Unbroken.
That was it.
And they were led by a man by the name of Ostenza.
it's not a name that rings a bell. I would imagine. A
Uh,
little bit of time.
yeah, you had
Nearer
come...
the-
Well, actually, make a history check 15.
That's a 10.
10? You don't know that much about them. The name does ring a bell because when you were coming down from the north, you stopped off at Black Lance Sanctum, which is the kind of the last city before you get to the plains.
Yeah, they're some sort of kind of radical group. I don't know much about them.
I was a bit concerned they would have a problem with Ulrich at the time, but maybe. I don't know.
Well, that's might amount to nothing. And if it's one of them, if it's Danton, have at it. But if it's any of the others, they're just sellswords. We know where they're staying, right?
Yes.
They're staying in the same place as us.
They're staying nearby. I'm just going to find that out.
Could always just quickly go and warn them when they come back in.
Well, I imagine at this rate they may well be celebrating. They're doing fairly well even against that thing. fucking hate to admit it, but they're really fucking good.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. One day. Don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get there. One day.
There's always next year.
So what's next year?
I just take another glance over at the noble elves.
Make another perception check.
So how many wines have we got through at this point?
It's just a 12.
12.
Probably like
Probably a couple.
4 or 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
Not there anymore.
Okay, I take a step forward. Would I have seen them leave, or?
No, didn't notice.
Okay.
They're behind you.
Yeah, I actually do a quick look behind me.
You do a quick look behind you, and directly behind you is the servant. Oh, your drinks. I'm so sorry that it took a while. I did manage to find some rosé.
You know,
I don't know if it's nice or not, but I do apologise.
no, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
Places the drinks down.
Yeet.
This can is empty.
This glass is empty.
I'm going to take this opportunity to have a poop. Something has come to my attention.
Something has arisen.
It's present over filters.
I think it's something like the Warriors' Corner or something like that. There's another place. You guys opted to stay at the inn. There was another place where all of the other fighters were staying. They do manage to defeat it with nobody dying, though someone does take a hefty hit to the chest that seems to almost drain them of most of their life. But they are successful nonetheless.
We go with the grudging kind of like quiet, slow clap.
Yeah. There's a thunderous applause.
Yeah.
Is that their third round?
That's their third round. So now it is back to the Valkyries, and it is just up to, if they win, then the pot is split. If they lose, then unfortunately well, I say unfortunately, probably for most of you, the Guild Marauders will take the whole pot.
Take all the monies.
Sabine wants to try and go downstairs and talk to the redskin tiefling, if she can get back into the downstairs bit.
So you head back down. It doesn't take you too long to get back to where you were. They are... Look, you're not in it anymore. Just no funny business, because we don't want to have to kill you.
Oh,
Well, I suppose we wouldn't necessarily have to kill you. We could take you to prison, but...
that would be preferable, but don't worry, we won't get to that.
Okay. Alright.
Some rosé in hand.
Just get into bingo.
But yeah, would she have tied them turning and disappearing, the Brotherhood, when the redskin tiefling did his thing?
It seemed to be pretty much they saw that and then left.
Cool. Yeah, I want to try and make a beeline to him. I want to just ignore Danton completely. I don't want to even...
Oh, he's too busy like posturing like, yeah! Oh man, I'm just so good. I just don't... Oh, it seems unfair. But as he's talking to the rest, the red-skinned tiefling is just quiet, keeping himself to himself.
You, can I borrow you for a second?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Make a persuasion. Call it a DC 15.
Nope. That is a grand total of 11, so not far, but if it helps, I'm Sabine. But
It doesn't, but thanks.
I noticed something else you were fighting. Well done, by the way. You guys did great there.
It's pretty easy, but
You're not on the run from anyone, are you? You're not aware of anyone looking for you?
not here anyway.
You ever, what was their full name? The Brotherhood of...
The Unbroken.
You ever heard of the Brotherhood of the Unbroken?
I'm familiar with them.
Look, we came across them on the road when we were traveling here. And, yeah, they don't like to let people who have gained power keep it if they don't think they deserve it. And all I'm saying is, and I'm doing this professional courtesy, one tiefling to another. They were in the venue, they were in the Colosseum, they watched what you did with the portal thing, which was pretty horrifying, really. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of shed myself a bit.
Yeah. I don't like doing it, but that's a creature. What are you gonna do?
Well, as soon as they saw you do that, they stood up and left the venue. So, just as a heads up.
Well, thank you. I will bear that in mind. I wasn't planning on sticking around, but I guess I really won't be sticking around.
What is your name? I'm gonna go for it again.
Make another persuasion, but with advantage this time.
Because I've helped him out and stuff.
Because you've helped him out.
It's not power out, we're friends.
Oh, okay.
Fuck off. That's even worse, even with advantage. That is a...
So close to 20 as well.
Oh, I know. That is a...
I mean, we all know who it is.
I know, I just want to hear him say it. Say it! It's a 12.
Suck it.
See, I was testing you, I knew you wouldn't tell me.
I was close. But no.
Well, look, if you are staying around, actually, if you could, I don't want to speak to him right now, he's showboating, but if you could let Danton know, I'd love to catch up with him at some point. And you'd be very welcome to come and join us at insert name place where we're staying.
Yeah. I will bear that in mind. I'm gonna get my money and disappear.
Don't blame me.
But I'll pass it on.
Thanks. And she goes. Joins us nothing. Ignores Danton. Straight past him. Fuck that guy.
Goodbye, Sabine.
Just that. Just one of them that's just walking out.
Love you too. Say hi to your mom.
Worst.
You make your way back up. The next bout has started, and the Valkyries make their way in, presumably or seeming to wanting to go out fighting, which gives you a little bit of a but they go out onto the into the arena, and you hear some loud thuds coming from a central grated area in the middle of the arena that slowly parts. But as it begins parting, a massive white claw smashes up and begins to bring out another one as a large white dragon pulls itself up and out as the platform slowly finishes, like raising out.
I'll lean into Quinn and say, do you think we would have fought the Beholder, or would we have taken the dragon?
Knowing our luck, probably the Beholder.
I don't know what I'd rather.
I'm just glad I'm drinking my wine.
Yeah, fair enough. This will be interesting.
So the fight begins.
What time do I make it back for this?
I'd say that you make it back because it's about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes in between each bout, just give people a chance to have a short rest, use some hit points or get dying. But the bout begins, and it immediately, in a similar fashion to what happened to yourselves, unleashes a torrent of freezing cold breath that even from this distance kind of sprays up, and you can see like slight bits of ice kind of glisten in the sun above you. It's not pretty. and after a few rounds, the leader of this troop, the kind of shield and sword fighter, is eventually sliced into 3. Yep. And as she kind of begins to collapse, it immediately bites into her. Blood scatters everywhere. And as the others kind of begin to back up in fear, somewhat resigning themselves to what is about to happen, there seems to be like a discussion. Again, can't really, like, it's more because of the distance, it's more of like a loud from this distance, but it seems to back off and go back to the central platform and just kind of snorts and just lets them go as they leave and bring their friend with them.
Shit.
It's pizza time.
Nice. Yeah, we probably wouldn't have made that one, would we?
I dare say the big eye would have given us trouble as well. I certainly can't do that. You send it somewhere else to be tortured by demons.
Just spoke to that guy.
How is he?
Yeah, he seems pretty chill.
Catch
Wouldn't
the
give
name?
me his name, no. Very a bit shady, actually.
I'm sure he's a lovely guy.
Sure, he's done nothing wrong in his past, yeah.
No, nothing to do with churches. Sisters.
Just for your own edification, Ulysses, you're fairly familiar with white dragons, largely because your father has actually fought a large dragon before, white dragon. Since then there hasn't been too many in the region, but they are known to roam the north. So with white dragons in particular, granted all dragons are pretty intelligent, though white dragons are known to be quite aggressive and animalistic. So it is odd that it would let someone just go.
Maybe he's tired.
Maybe.
I certainly can understand that one. Another ale, please.
So as with that, things begin to wrap up. There is a celebration of sorts as the king announces the Gilded Marauders as the victors of this year's Gauntlet of Kord. As people begin to disperse, the king, kind of being led away by his guard, kind of regards you and just kind of gives you a nod. More of just an acknowledgement of your work. But yes, people will begin to disperse and pretty much everybody begins to flood back out into streets. For just from your time being here, you would know that this is kind of like the last night before people kind of start to get back to work, and this becomes less of a party city and more of a working city. But yeah, they filter out. What would you like to do?
Does I can't remember his name. Durgob filter out?
He does. I think you knew his name. The Silas gentleman, who seems to be the only nobleman of their troop, tries to kind of quickly catch up with the king, and so they kind of follow him.
If possible, on his way out, I would just kind of quickly and quietly say the name of where we're staying to Durgob.
Sure. Are you trying to be discreet about it?
Relatively, yeah.
Okay, just make a stealth check. Just 10.
Disadvantage on stealth checks. So it's 5.
5.
The crowd goes silent as you shout in his ear.
We're staying at the inn. What? The king kind of gives like a look just over his shoulder, but continues walking, whilst a couple of other people nearby are like, "Oh, okay. I mean, you were good, but I married."
No, of course. I was. I forgot. I suddenly remembered loudly that we're staying at the
That we are.
inn. I think I'll. Where did the drinks boy go? I mean,
I'm right here.
hello. Is that for me?
You said to keep them coming.
Excellent. Thank you.
Love it.
Can we take him with us?
Yeah.
It's just like your hype man.
I'm probably like 7 ales deep by the end of the thing. So I'm a bit
You're getting pretty cut.
worse for wear now.
Yeah.
You got?
Noticing this, to be like, so we're going out then, right? We're gonna go and enjoy this.
Sure, yeah, anything to distract from the abject failure that I am.
Fantastic.
Really with it.
Let's get it.
We find the most pop-in place. The
Um,
kids call it these days.
I put on my best turtleneck.
Oh,
Oh, actually, no, sorry. I just remembered. Owen's chainmail shirt is fashioned as a turtleneck. Yeah, my mistake.
Do you have a chain? A single like,
Just
thin
the
gold
thinnest chain
Yeah.
imaginable. That's my religious symbol. Tacky, yet secular.
Yeah.
Non-secular.
Okay, so you, for the sake of brevity and Tim, you
Sorry to
you head out and you imbibe. You do get bought a few drinks. People do recognise you.
Oh fuck.
Recognise you. Some people are a bit like, "Oh, your face! It doesn't look as wet now. Looked like it was melting a little bit."
Yeah, the arena adds £10.
Alright, I hear that. I don't know what my excuse is then.
Oh,
I'm out of shit.
excuse me. I actually try and find like a corner just to appear like I'm having fun.
Yeah,
But I'm just
absolutely.
constantly on the lookout, waiting for. Like, I'll still abide, but I'm just waiting for Sabine and Ulysses to maybe move on to the next place or call it a day.
Make a perception check.
oh, he's gonna get got.
12.
12. As you're like going around, you're drinking, you're enjoying yourself. You don't know what it is, but you feel like there's a gentleman in one bar, just at the far end of it, that is just looking at you.
Okay. Can I?
So you carry on.
Yeah, where, like, from my eye line, where is he?
So at the moment, in this particular bar, you're just at the very far end. It's like a long stretch, and he's just at the far end, just kind of looking at it. So you kind of.
He waves at me.
Seems to.
I'll just look around.
You look around. There's someone behind you, and they just kind of walk past and go over. Hey!
My knees kind of falter a little bit, and I just try and find like the nearest seat. Even if it means sitting with a group of strangers in a booth, I'll just.
There's seats at the bar that you
Okay.
kind of sink into. You guys are just like, what the
Ulysses' head's very much in a place where like, he's enjoying getting blitzed. And if anyone's like, oh mate, that was a bit rubbish. Anyone that's remotely like, you could have done better than that, he would be inclined to nut them.
For the most part, everybody seems to be,
Sure.
because this is a yearly thing and people are very much aware that this is a risk to the people that go in, and being that this is a city that primarily worships Kord, it's just mainly respect.
Good.
The only people that you get are kind of like people coming up and trying to, let's have a fight. Yeah, you're hard. I'm hard as hell.
And it would likely be met with like a grabbing of the front of the shirt and be like, you don't want to fight me, friend? Do you really want to fight me?
My wife's trying to leave me. I'm just angry. I'm sorry. And someone comes out like, come on now, Ted. Let's go.
And it'd just be like a
Well, the other guy's just an all for us.
wasting my fucking time.
Sabine's gonna try and drunkenly do your makeup again. Really annoying. It's like,
Yeah,
come on,
no.
let me just, come on, just a
It's
little,
fine.
just
It's
a little
fine.
bit.
It's fine. I don't need it
She persists
anymore.
to the point of annoyance.
I get up and find another seat.
It's like, you can run.
What's Quinn up to?
Quinn seems to be a little bit less on edge now that you have fully withdrawn from the competition, but still somewhat centralized, inward. Not talking to you, lot.
Once I finish this drink, I'm just going to go stand outside and get some air.
Sure thing.
I don't stray too far from the bar. It's like a couple of steps outside the front door.
Yeah.
Or the... What's that? What's that called?
Saloon
Swing
swing
doors.
doors.
That's it.
Yeah. Perfect. So, you enjoy your night. Do you at any point go to check in on Ulrich before you head to sleep?
I don't think that evening.
No?
No.
No?
I wouldn't at least. Can't speak for that.
No.
No?
I feel like...
But the night's still young.
No. Sabine, on the way back, tries to find her way there and then gets lost and then just gives up and goes back to the inn that they're staying at. So she tries to, but she can't remember where she's walking.
Yeah.
I thought Sabine would have tried to pull tonight. I thought Sabine would have tried to pull.
He's stuck in his books. I can't hit on him now.
Make him jealous.
Make it jealous.
Make him work for it.
Yeah.
Rocket.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, after a while, you guys eventually retire back to the inn. You all wake up the next day. Various states of not feeling too good. Actually, what was your passive perception? 19, isn't it?
Yeah. It's silly. But yes.
Just need to check something.
I'm immune to disease. Would that include hangovers?
Unfortunately, a hangover is it's pervasive. It gets you.
She's self-inflicted.
Don't be alarmed, Si, but there is a large spider crawling around your feet.
Oh, Peter Parker!
It's not large.
Parker.
Do it. Bite me. Actually, don't bite me. Things swell up like a bitch.
I don't like spiders.
I'll do.
Do you want me to get a cup?
Cool.
I'm gonna get a cuck.
So yeah, you all wake up. Ulrich,
Nah.
you wake up
Oh.
chained, somewhat like pretty much like upright, sat upright.
Oh, really?
And as you kind of like begin to rustle and make noise, you see one of the guards. Oh, fucking awake then, aren't you? And they open up the door, and as they come in, another guard comes in behind them with a pretty mashed up face. Look, we were told about fucking wizard making you come back alive and be all right, rowdy and shit. But look what you've done to Reginald's face.
Wizards?
Yeah, you fucked me up, mate. I won't be able to breathe forever now. Well, from the nose anyway. Just dies.
Oh shit. All ragdoll physics just like flops.
Through the floor.
Yeah.
The knees stunk first.
What the fuck?
What?
Why am I chained up?
Well,
who are you?
You're about to not be chained up because we fucking get you out of here, aren't we? Menace.
What?
And not because you're an orc, because, you know, like, you can be whatever you want to be, but just, you know, when you start headbutting people.
I feel like you're not explaining what's going on
And
here.
I feel like you have not yet apologised to Reginald.
Sorry, Reginald.
That's alright. Okay. I understand that you weren't probably in your right way. And that's fine.
I can try and fix it for you if you want.
I'd rather you not.
Pretty good with my thumbs.
Your thumbs are pretty big.
So you know.
He leaves.
I sassed them too much.
How am I feeling?
Well, you can't see out of one eye,
Oh, that's the point.
the right eye,
No time
as you currently have a bandage
Big
around
eyes.
your head,
Okay.
and you have these quite thick, like scar lines across most of your body. But you are unchained, and they kind of point you roughly in the direction to leave.
I'm a bit confused about what's happened. Where I am. No one's around. Do I remember where we were staying? Do I remember anything?
Make an intelligence check.
Oh no. It's this mangled orc walking the streets at 9 in the morning.
Oh.
Oh no.
That's
God.
a solid 0.
0.
Fuck's sake.
It's like a Mr. Magoo sketch.
You think really hard until like a vein starts to pop up on your neck and on your temple, and you shit
Yeah,
yourself.
sure, so yeah. Well,
And you just wander out of the Colosseum. You're sure you'll find it eventually.
it's probably north. I'm gonna head south.
As you guys take your time waking up in various states of hungoverness, I'll let you decide how much you imbibed, if you were alone or not. But you slowly come to rise, and you eventually get down to the downstairs area where you are served breakfast. And at this point, you probably slept in a fair bit. It's probably about like 10, 11. Eventually, you hear a loud disturbance by the front door of the inn as a woman. I'm so sorry. Wow. I need to go.
What's wrong?
I have one hand on my.
And she just walks away from you hurriedly.
Am I just taking the bandage off as well, I guess?
I mean, you can take it off if you want.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you take
Can
it
I
off. You can. It's
murky.
It's a bit. Yeah, it's a bit stiff. For you guys, as you turn to see what the commotion is, you see Ulrich there, paler, covered in thick scar tissue, and kind of, if he wasn't already completely bald, like just no hair, kind of barely an ear there.
But the skin's grown back.
The skin has grown back, but it's almost to the point where it's like it's thin enough that you can almost see the muscle underneath.
It's hot.
I imagine it being like really tight against the skull as well. But...
Yeah, very lich-like.
Yeah.
Just like scream, Ulrich, look at you! You're back! We need to probably explain to you what happened.
Yeah, that would be great.
So we recap. You let him know what happened. You go over the fact that you pulled out.
But after that last night,
Guys, doesn't work.
and Ulrich's son comes in. I have something to tell you.
This is Georgie. Sabine.
It's my son Austin.
Yeah. Great, he's crying now.
Okay, hit me with the bad news, sir.
What?
What are my hit points?
Oh, you rolled them, didn't you?
No.
Oh, you didn't detract your health.
Oh, maybe I did already.
I'd say you're back at full. But I thought you had rolled.
Oh
already.
no, we did do that together, didn't we? My
You
bad.
did. Sorry, so yeah, so everybody else, the other groups, they were staying at the Warriors Respite. You are currently in the Half Inn.
Thank you.
Trying to find that for like the past 30 minutes.
I would somewhat hurriedly try and make my way to the Warriors Respite.
Sure. You kind of immediately head out.
I tap Ulrich on the shoulder and be like, yeah, good to see you.
Cool. I'm a bit dazed.
Yeah, as am I.
You can see that as you did yourself also almost die, but you went to death saves. You do have like scarring across some of your bare skin from the stomach acid.
Mhm.
Nice scars, mate.
You do too. They're, there's something.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my thumb in this one.
Oh.
I'm gonna store it.
Yeah,
I think I want to store some.
coppers or something.
I think more like a handkerchief
That'll do.
from my ears. They get real leaky.
I'll be back in a bit.
Where are you heading?
I'm going to see if the Brotherhood of Bastards turned up and tried to kill you all.
Ooh, I'd come with.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm heading out that way myself. I need to head to the
So
center.
yeah, I died. You guys don't give a shit.
Well, we've
That's
kind
cool.
of, we've kind
I've
of
been
dealt
made
with
aware
it.
that
Just
you do this
recapped it
often.
all.
We had a whole evening drinking to your memory, and now you're back, which we assumed you would be. So it's
Yes,
not that big a
wonderful.
deal, right?
Yeah.
You can head back to your room because your clothes are. You've barely got clothes. Yeah. That's the other reason she screamed. She could see the tip.
Yeah, I should probably not look like this.
I can see your helmet.
Do you think? I think I should like get something to
Maybe like
cover this up.
like half a a phantom mask,
He has like a really cool mask.
Get a mask.
like a gladiator mask. Really.
Where would I get a mask? Where would I get a mask from?
We'll
Blacksmith.
go shopping.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, I haven't got any fucking money anymore. But yeah, let's go and see if your friend got killed.
Yeah.
I'm sure Quinn could help you out with paying for the mask.
I'm sure Quinn could.
Well, I suppose so.
I mean, do you want to look at this ugly mug all the
Oh,
time?
I'm okay.
Look, you can see my muscles.
Yes, Ulrich. Kind of leads you.
You look really hard. You see my teeth.
It is. I don't know if any of you have seen the remake of The Thing, but the bit where they first cut into it and it's semi-translucent. You can kind of see teeth and stuff. You can almost, because the skin is very close to being kind of fresh. you can see some of his teeth beneath the skin on the top half.
Ew.
You look like a freak, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, just as you are about to head out, you, Ulrich, are quickly grabbed by Hemi, and he just quickly taps you on the shoulder as you guys kind of start making your way out.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I just want to say, great show. Don't know why you're alive. But that's great. Somebody left a note for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have it on you?
I put it in your room. I just, I didn't want to be rude. Didn't want to read your email.
Oh, express. He must mean express mail.
Means express mail.
We used to do it all the time, passing notes between the temples.
Fucking weird.
Really
It's
quick.
alright.
Just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, alright. Well,
Your face looks fucked up.
thanks. I'll take that as a throw it back and wander off.
I could maybe find some paint for you. Cover that up.
With green paint,
I could find green paint.
like matte shit.
It might be a slightly different tone.
We'll get you a mask.
Yeah, I'll go off and grab the note. Cool. Go up to my room. Do I have anything left in the room? Probably not.
You've got like all of you would just have like maybe a change of clothes, just some of your personal belongings that you don't necessarily, like your backpacks, which would just have all of your starting equipment essentially is probably left there. But otherwise, your weapons and armor. Did you get armor?
Yeah, I'm wearing it.
Yeah. So you still got that with you.
Cool. I'll go up to my room and kind of. Is there a mirror in there?
There is a fairly simple mirror.
Look at myself and be like, yes, it's pretty fucked up. Really got yourself into some shit this time, Ulrich. And I'll put some clothes on and tidy myself up a bit and read this note.
It reads, "Friend, we will be leaving tomorrow morning. Follow us when we make for camp. An ambush could work."
Oh. Good note.
Signed, Durgo. And there is a similar looking band to the one that you have
Ah, very cool.
enclosed in it.
That's cool. I trust that.
His one is a bear though.
Nice. Cool. I kind of well up a little bit in just one eye.
Tear ducts fuck, mate.
Just like sprays.
I'm just like, I don't know why I'm speaking out loud. I think he has the capability to do internal monologues.
I mean, after you got a 0 earlier.
Well, I guess he's not a baddie after all. And I run downstairs. And have you guys already left?
They're probably like just outside,
Yeah. Wait for
holding
it.
fire.
Hey guys, let's go.
Oh, sorry, I didn't expect you to be outside still.
I've got clothes on.
I know, but the face.
We need to get you a
So
mask.
sorry.
I really need to sort that out.
I like it. It's growing on me, literally.
Maybe like get it out when you're trying to scare people, and then put it away when you're just, blending in.
I guess, yeah, I do need to blend in more. You're alright.
You will try.
Your muscles.
says
like,
It's twitching.
So your right eye just slowly just veers off to the right and kind of gets lost.
Tongue
It's
just
gonna be
falls out of a hole in his face.
I've been chewing
Put it
tobacco
back
for
in.
years.
Put it back in. Put that away. Put that away.
Where were we off to again?
Well, we're gonna go to the Warriors'
Respite.
and see if the Brotherhood.
One of the Brotherhood seemed like they might have been in trouble. No, the Golden Marauders. And they're not all bad. Just that atrocious cunt. But yeah. Let's,
you mean Danton? Yeah,
yeah.
Bellend.
Yeah.
I do have a note from Durgob.
Oh, I've got one too.
Have you? What does it say?
Mine's not. It just he said he would help fight with us if we wanted him to in the third round because we weren't there.
And you,
We didn't fight in
And
the
you
third round. No,
right?
we didn't. Well, I wanted to. I'm
You
just
can
saying.
see like stands back a bit and is like, oh. I thought you would have carried on.
Ulrich. I know.
You do notice that the sill on there is the same board design as your armband.
Good enough in my letter.
Well, yeah, he's well, you can all read it, but basically, I think he's an inside man, as it were.
It's a letter.
So,
And you trust them?
I mean, he gave me this. This is our armbands from our families. I've got mine on. He's taken it off, which you just don't do unless you really need to. So, I trust this. I do.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
happy to get involved.
let's make haste and let's see that they're all right. And then if there's no trouble, we'll.
I mean, they're going tonight, so we've got time.
Oh, okay.
Is it tonight?
Yeah, it said tonight.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
Oh.
Tomorrow morning. It's quite hard to do this voice.
Okay, let's go to the Warriors.
Yeah.
Respite.
So as you progress out in the morning, well, probably about 12 o'clock at this point, afternoon, there is a distinct shift in the atmosphere of the city. Whereas pretty much since you've been here, it's been like Vegas. It's always a party. People are always drinking. There's a jovial kind of vibe in the city. Today, a bit more of a toned down. Work on my words today. A more somber atmosphere as people seem to have kind of gone back to normal. There are carts open, kind of markets. There's not as many decorations out, which is pretty impressive for a city of this size. But yeah, there's almost like the city itself is suffering from a hangover.
Can't relate.
But because it isn't as busy, it doesn't take you too long. As you're making your way kind of north, a little bit deeper into the city, off to the right-hand side, you can see the familiar park area. You can see that the Randolph's circus is being taken down. But you progress in. It doesn't take you too long. You eventually make your way to the Warriors' Respite. Let me just pull up the notes again, cause I keep forgetting shit.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. I think as we passed Randolph, we probably would have just said hello, very briefly, and just be like, where are you heading next?
Or two,
Give me but a moment.
Of course.
Oh gosh.
Keep losing notes. If anybody wants to tweet at us or message us on Instagram, like a better note-keeping system for me, please just feel free to.
Please.
Because literally opening up documents and just flicking between each file is not the way to do things. But
Quite.
yeah. Yes, indeed. So you eventually make your way to the Warrior's Respite. You can kind of almost immediately tell that this is the place where the competitors stay, as there are a few people that are stood outside, kind of waiting to see if any of their favourites come out. There's a massive, almost like dragon's head that has two big, massive, like bastard swords skewering it on either side, and then underneath it just says Warrior's Respite.
Nice.
You make your way in. It's a large kind of L-shaped building, so as soon as you come in, there's almost like a greeting desk, and then there's a board of various postings for missing people, hired help, warriors needed, all sorts of stuff. And then as you kind of turn left, it kind of goes down, and there's a few more seating areas, and then it kind of turns off into an L, and there's like a general kind of almost like a planning area for people, and then there's a set of stairs that leads up to where you presume the rooms are.
On this notice board, are there any wanted posters?
Make a perception. Make an investigation check for me.
Sure. Of course. Okay. 14.
14. The main one that is on there, the kind of biggest one that draws the most attention, is there is one that depicts it's the picture of a dwarven woman. It doesn't look incredibly old. I'd say maybe like mid-20s. But it essentially says King's daughter, missing, handsome reward, please seek royal envoy if you wish to take on the task.
I'd let the rest of the group know, if we're...
Grab the poster.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just kind of
Okay.
the usual that you would come to find.
Nothing to do with elves or anything like that, no?
No.
The dirty priest.
Good.
No names on the run.
So
But there is
like
a
reception.
There is a reception area. Yep.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
How are you?
Oh, I'm just wonderful, really, today. Yeah, I'm feeling great.
A bit hungover.
I don't want to talk about it. You're kind of dead behind the eyes.
We're here looking for the Gilded Marauders, actually.
Oh, okay. Sure. You're probably the... And as she's like saying that, you hear, oh man. And then I just fucking stabbed it in his eye. They're around the corner.
How's he been?
He pays well, so I kind of just put up with listening to him.
Oh, is he the colossal anus? Is that him?
That'll be the one.
You okay?
Wow, you are...
He's gorgeous. He's beautiful. He's the most handsome orc you've ever seen. Hmm?
I realised.
Well, and she just kind of pats you.
I just fall out.
Falls into your drink. How did
Sorry.
you get it?
But I suppose you saw if any of the marauders left.
No, I mean, as far as I know, they're all still here.
Excellent, thank you.
That's all right. You're part of the Deaf Harms, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, because your face looks less like pasty. Yeah, I think we had someone looking for you.
What? The
did
death
they
hums
give a
or-
name?
Oh, well, they kind of just said the... Elf, aren't you?
Yeah.
They kind of just said the elf from the Death Hums, but I said that you guys weren't staying here, so...
Did they give a name or say where they were from?
No, not really. But we get a lot of people that just, you guys are not massive celebrities because you didn't win. No offense, it's hard. But, you're known enough. We don't really question people coming in looking for autographs and stuff like that.
We should probably make this work.
It sounds like you've got an admirer, mate. I think you should
could finally
investigate.
get laid.
Could finally share some rosé.
Not in this realm.
Yeah, no, I understand. We should probably be quick then. Should we go find him?
Yeah, let's head around the corner.
Thank you for your help.
If that person comes back, don't tell them that I was here.
Oh, yeah, sure thing.
He really values his privacy. He's quite.
He's really creepy, so...
I understand, big government constantly trying to, take your likeness and stuff like that. I completely understand.
Against the man, right?
Hey, always opt out.
Always pull out.
Fuck Zuck. Did I get that right?
Supposed to make the big bad. Mark
In the sunscreen.
I am the Zuckerberg.
You make your way around, and you can see that there is the Valkyries. There is also obviously the Gilded Marauders, who seem to be mostly kind of sat around, kind of just catching up with each other, catching up with some of the other people, and it's mainly Danton that seems to be kind of like one leg up on the table, just kind of talking to what look like younger adventurers that are just eating it up. But yeah, you also see the Bone Breakers, who are still drinking.
Impressive.
You see Bert, but not the Bucket Lumps.
Those guys.
Shame.
And the Death's emissaries as well. They're all kind of dotted around in various places.
No Valkyries about?
Valkyries are there, but they seem to be a bit more secluded, whereas everybody else seems to be conversing.
Yeah.
Does everybody else in the room seem a bit hanging, a bit like groggily the night before?
Sorry.
Sai, that was you. So apologies to yourself. What was that, sorry?
Do they seem like hungover, the rest of the room? Does everyone seem like they're all hurting a little bit?
There's varying states. Some people, yes. There's a couple of people. The Loxodon and the Minotaur from the Death's emissaries look fine. But is just quite happily he's just making music in the corner, just jamming. And there's only one of the Bone Breakers that seems quite hungover, being the Goliath. The three dwarves they're fine. Unsurprising.
Constitutions of steel.
Yes. Yeah.
Should we go chat to? Shall we go chat to?
We didn't catch his name, so
Yeah, him.
Is
Them.
the red toothless still about?
Make a perception check.
I'm so shit today. 5.
5. Just at a cursory glance, you don't immediately see him. It's somewhat busy in here, but
Sabine just wants to shout across the room at Danton and say, "Hey, Danton!"
oh hey, orphan!
Always good to see you.
Hey.
Where's the tiefling?
Tiefling.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Nephros?
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah. He like left early this morning. Yeah.
That's what I wanted
Yeah.
to check.
Said someone was looking for him. Hey, who am I to judge?
No, it's fair. Took our advice. It's good.
Just to keep you in the loop, you colossal bag of shit. The people that were looking for him were the Brotherhood of the Unbroken. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
Oh. Okay.
I don't know how your organisation works, whether you have any loyalty to one another, but your boy might be in trouble, so...
He's not been with us for too long. We kind of just put out a general flyer to see who wanted to join in on this little competition, and these were the people that responded. And he did as well. I haven't seen his face before, but seems to be able to handle himself. But I suppose if they're looking for him, this kind of makes sense.
It does. Congrats.
Hey, what can I say? When you're good, you're good.
At least I thank you, and that's the end of the conversation.
Sorry. I'm just riding such a high right now, you know?
Yeah.
What are you gonna spend your money on?
Wow. I've seen
it's bad.
people immolated that look better than you. Wow.
Thanks, really.
I can see the top row of teeth. That's impressive.
Yeah, I didn't realise but my wisdom tooth coming through.
How are you here?
What do you mean? I walked, I think. Did we walk?
Yeah. You definitely died.
Oh.
He wasn't as dead as he looked.
Yeah. It's an orc thing.
Deception check. Both of you.
Better. 15.
It's a 9 from me.
Looks at both of you and kind of more so to yourself. Okay. Hey, if you've got tricks you don't want to share them, that's absolutely fine.
Well, you'd probably just be horrified, so, you know.
Indulge me.
Like, right here, in front of all these people.
I
Okay.
don't think, no. I don't think that means what you think it means.
Do you like grapefruit?
Do I?
Don't worry about it.
Some,
Okay.
some arrangement.
It's kind of like look lingers on you.
I just widen my eyes at him.
One
Careful, you might lose that eyeball.
Yeah, I should really pretty careful with that. Gonna try and get it penned in.
So what can I do for you?
Well,
I'm sure you didn't just come over to bask in the glory of the Gilded Marauders, so...
No, we came to make sure your friend was okay, actually.
We were concerned.
Oh, yeah. Well, given what I know about his, shall we say, skill set, it does not surprise me that they are looking for him. And if he didn't have any reason to worry about them, then he wouldn't have ran. So maybe he's done some stuff in the past.
Oh, I think we all have skeletons in our closets that we're not necessarily proud of. But if he's gone and there's and you don't seem to give a shit, then cool. We'll call it a day there.
If you wanna, drop the show building for maybe 5 minutes, I did want to ask you a question in private, but if you're too busy, I understand. No, it's
no worries.
Don't make it weird.
Guys, I'll be back.
Let's go find a quiet corner.
While they're doing that, I'd like to just check in on the Valkyries and just be like, well fought.
Sure.
My condolences.
As you kind of go over and you say that, they the cleric of the group kind of slowly raises her head to you. You see most of them, their eyes are a little bit puffy, but still kind of a bit more guarded. But she acknowledges. Thank you. Obviously we saw that you had lost someone yourself.
I wander over. Yeah, I didn't hear about what happened to you guys, but I think there used to be more of you, didn't there? So.
They befell a fate similar to yourself. We were lucky enough that he was in one piece, and by the grace of Kord, we got him back.
Make a deception check.
Natural 20.
Oh, fuck.
I was bound to get something good.
Oh, baby.
She kind of looks at you and as you kind of start explaining, kind of like her eyes widen a little bit more. It's strange. I've never seen his light touch someone in such a perverse way. But
my assumption is this godless heathen didn't quite have the same connection that one such as ourselves may have, so it wasn't entirely effective. But his life is restored. And it's fine.
I'm not quite sure what you said, but it sounded insulting.
No, certainly not.
I'm pretty tired, so I'll let it slide.
well, I mean, Kord does smile upon yourself and you as well. I just wish that he smiled on us just as much.
As do I. It is most unfortunate, and you won't be far from my prayers.
Well, Soda will be remembered and we'll come back.
What was her name?
Soda. Something to say to him?
That's so depressing.
Oh, okay, big guy. We're gonna get swallowed.
You're not killed.
Yeah.
You take psychic damage.
Perhaps we should make our leave. A pleasure making your acquaintance. Maybe we'll see you next year.
Let's hope that our paths cross again.
Peace be with you.
He's trying.
Oh, okay.
He's trying.
Yeah.
Some weird crossover there.
Yeah, and the others go back. Kind of continue discussing what they were discussing. Sabine.
Right. Let's do this.
So, I mean, this was bound to happen, you know. We cross swords. You say some things to me. I say some things about your mom. You know, let's just get that. Let's get down to it.
As much as I'd love to slit your fucking throat right now.
That's what I like.
I just wondered if you knew what was going on in Luxem at the moment. 'Cause
Oh.
you know, you've been around, you hear things, right?
What can I say? People know me, and I know people.
And that's how it works.
Yeah, it's they're winning. Yeah, it probably won't take them more than maybe another few more months if things keep going the way they are going, and they'll have Terrasol by the short and curlies. Yeah.
And I mean,
What are you gonna do, eh? That's war.
That's why we're not there now.
Exactly. Just gotta hope that shit don't spread up here, eh?
Surely it wouldn't. You kept mentioning my mum, and look, as far as I was concerned until recently, I thought she was dead anyway, but I'm guessing you've heard news about her.
Oh no, I don't know. I'm just busting your chops.
Inside check.
Go ahead.
5.
Seems to be telling the truth.
Okay.
There's a lot of arrogance just built into his face, so it's kind of hard to cut through.
Okay, it's interesting. This is, last I heard, she was going to try and do something pretty dramatic, but you know, I don't know if it paid off.
Well, I haven't heard anything. Mind you, I've kind of dipped out of that situation. You know, got other enterprises to work on.
What is the next thing you're doing with your band of fuckheads?
Well, not quite sure yet. We've got a lot of money that we need to burn. I don't know. I was thinking maybe heading down south, head through the Moonshay Isles.
Heard they're really
See
nice.
what you're. Oh, what was his name? Oh, Frederick. Yeah, he banged on about them a lot, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, immolation. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Man, your group really has a lot of difficulty holding on to people, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, we have a really high turnover of talent, yeah.
Hey,
I'm fucking still here.
Arthur's still there.
What?
Wanna come over to the Guild of Marauders?
You don't want me like that, come on.
Hey,
I'm not that good, come on.
look, I know talent when I see it, okay? And sure, I think you're about as trustworthy as, I don't know, him. Gestures over towards Ulrich. But you're good at what you do. So, Arthur's there. You'll make a lot of money. You'll be swimming in dick, ass, tits. I mean, whatever really that you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arthur's there.
Well, I guess if I bump into you again, I'll try and avoid it. Maybe I might take you up on that sometime.
Hey, hopefully I don't bump into you.
Ah?
So anyway, since it's just you and me, so what's the deal with your friend?
Oh yeah, like, I don't really get it. It's not really my bag.
Okay. Make a deception check.
It's not my bag, but...
It's not my bag, baby. Oh, that's a 21 total.
21.
Yeah.
I just shoot things and stab things, and it pays really well to do that sometimes.
Well, I know something unnatural when I see it, and I know bullshit when I smell it. So your friends, if that's what they are, might be keeping something from you. But hey, not my business. You enjoy whatever it is you're doing, and hey, gotta love being rich.
Yeah, enjoy the money.
Oh,
alright?
I will.
What's the first thing you're gonna buy with it? I'm curious.
Maybe just some golden shoes.
They're really heavy. Like
Yeah,
really,
but, you know. Just wear them around the house or something.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool. Fuck.
I don't know. I'm kind of running out of things to buy, so. Anyway.
Enjoy.
So, and he kind of turns around and starts approaching the younger adventurers. So as I was saying, spearing the beholder in the eye, I mean, you know, that was my first instinct. Blind this fucking son of a bitch, right? And just everybody's like...
they're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
Of course you would do that.
He's such a masterful artist.
So obvious.
I catch up with the group. You know what I mean?
We'll bounce.
Way off?
Yes.
Bounce.
I just want to have a quick scan of the room, see if there's anyone I didn't recognise from yesterday in there.
Sure, make a perception check.
I'm scared. 16.
There's 3 elves approaching you with knives out.
There is a group of elves at the front by the reception.
Okay.
You got something stuck in your throat.
Let's find a different way to go out.
Oh, and I can't hear you.
Let's just sort of look towards them and walk into a different room.
As he says that, they kind of
I'm
turn
just kidding.
and they begin to make their way towards the area that you lot are in.
Okay, is there any obvious door out?
Make an investigation check.
1. Unnatural 1.
Unnatural.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
You start panicking. There are doors here, but you're like,
Can I just go to the nearest one?
You go to the nearest one.
Yeah.
Okay, you go in there. and you turn around. Do you shut the door behind you?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, you shut the door behind you. This group of elves, they just seem to like make their way past you, head upstairs, and begin talking to the Death's emissaries. You, there's a smell in here, possibly left over from sorts.
I'll knock on the door. Elaine.
Occupied.
Okay. It's Ulysses.
I think they're looking for me.
No, they've gone upstairs. They're talking to someone else.
Okay, let's go.
And then open the door and just calmly walk back
walk.
towards the towards the front desk and just stiff as a board.
To the temples?
We can't.
We can't?
If they're looking for me, then that's probably where they're going to look.
Well, at every turn thus far, they haven't been. I understand you're worried, but we've gotten this far.
Just grab my amulet and then say,
What I'll do is take, just for the time being, I'll take off my cloak of protection
okay,
and hand it to you. It's hooded.
okay.
And it's like quite a deep hood. Well, you can wear this for now, if you're that worried.
Thank you, friend. And yeah, I'll put it on, hood up.
Yeah.
I think it's time I checked in with the old missus. I didn't say that last part. Out loud.
That's canon. It happened.
Yeah.
He said the quiet part loud.
Oh dear.
So yeah, if it's okay with Sabine and Quinn and Ulrich, we would head to the temple district.
Cool. So you make your way over there. You are stopped a couple of times by people that are just coming up to you and just saying, "Oh wow, you did a really good show." You get a couple of younger kids with like wooden swords that ask for like an autograph. Not too many, but a couple.
Whose autograph do they want?
Huh?
Do they want anyone in particular's autograph?
Quinn's.
Yeah. Hey, book boy, I want your signature. Yeah. Yeah.
A little girl
Stay in school.
who has painted her face red.
Oh.
Oh,
actually, yes, okay.
Comes up to you with like some like fake horns on just like a headband. Comes up and asks for yours specifically.
Of course. Yeah, just a really fucking ornate signature. It's not even her signature. It just looks fucking sick. With flair.
This says Sabrina.
that forgery skill coming in.
Yeah.
But cool. You eventually get towards the more religious sector of the city, and at this point it is a little bit busier. You would imagine that perhaps quite a few of the priests and clerics were probably being used elsewhere, given injuries or kind of keeping things perhaps sedated. But it's slightly busier in the religious sect now. Anywhere that you're heading specifically? Is it straight to
I'd quite like to go to the Temple of Kord.
Temple of Kord?
Yeah. To my little temple.
Are you splitting from the group, or are you just going there afterwards?
I think I'd split.
Split from the group. Okay, we'll come to that in a moment. The rest of the party heads straight up to the towering kind of temple to Kord. As impressive as ever, the stained glass windows, the rich kind of like marble building. You make your way in, and you are met with a similar kind of like almost like sparring ground with the large stained glass window of Kord holding a meteor from the earth. Meteor.
I'm looking for the guy that I spoke to last time, the big muscle priest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
13 plus perception 0, so 13.
13. Doesn't take you long. He is actually leading a session
Okay.
where they seem to be practicing movements or kind of stances. But as the class is happening, he does actually spot you and kind of bows and kind of releases the students who go off and kind of start either sparring amongst themselves, or some of them go off to meditate, and he makes his way over to you.
Well, Matt, that looked like a good class, a good group of initiates.
Thank you, but
Yeah.
you've done Kord well.
This is actually why I'm here. I don't feel like I have.
Well,
We bowed out before we finished, and I'm conflicted. Because my value is in my strength, and it's in winning glory in the name of Kord, and I failed at that. And I felt like I couldn't continue, otherwise my allies would fall.
and do you not think that it takes strength to know when to stop, even if it means perhaps sparing your comrades' lives? We all search for glory in life, yes, but when it comes at the expense of others, that is a more dangerous path.
Surely the more dangerous the path, the sweeter the reward, the more glory there is to be gained. I don't feel fit to wear. Then he kind of holds onto his tablet and is like, for the first time in a little while, I don't know if I'm worthy of this.
The fact that you are having this doubt is a sign to me that you are worthy. There is a difference between seeking glory and having arrogance. Those,
Arrogance got that guy 5,000 gold.
perhaps now, yes, but this goes to the rest of you as well. Yeah. As much as the gilded marauders would like to think, success is not final, and failure is not the end. It is the courage to continue that lives on and gives legacy to those who we have lost. You may have lost today, but continue to strive forwards, take in Kord's teachings. Sorry, that's just the temple cat. It comes in from time to time. It's the sand. It seems to think it's his own tray. Continue to take this path. Continue to take on Kord's lessons. And glory will come. And I must say, I do hope you come back again next year.
Well, I certainly intend on it. I feel like I'm just beginning to understand these gifts, so yeah, you can count on it.
It's good to hear. What? kind of sees you after giving this speech about loss and just sees you. Like,
We're still trying to work it out as well. There's a lot to it that's...
It's like an orc thing.
that's not an orc thing.
An Ulrich thing. Runs
Sure.
in my family.
Again, we're still trying to work out what's going on with...
Yeah, some wizard, right? Is it wizard?
I assume so. I wasn't
Yeah.
there when it happened.
We're thinking of rebranding when we come back next year. We've got a new name. Just want to get your thoughts on it. Just spitballing here. The Forsaken? Sounds quite good, right?
Why don't you have a pulse?
So the new name, you like it?
The fact that he's able to tell that without touching me is so fucking cool.
I've
Just
got.
rolled a nat 21 medicine check.
Woof.
It's a heart condition. My pulse is like really low, so like you can't. The skin is deep.
And you travel with this individual willingly?
On the basis that he has been a proven ally in battle and has not seen us wrong thus far. We don't understand it as what it is that the forces that continue bringing him back, but our understanding is that there's a job that he has to do before he can finish.
I mean, you know, everyone has, you know, two guys in their nightmares trying to like control their whole life with like weird scaly hands, right?
Well, this is
Or oversharing.
This
Yeah, this is new information to most of the group.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
just being Ulrich about it.
that's new.
Oh, sorry, that's part of my new stand-up.
Neil.
What?
I'm good.
No, he's called Ulrich.
Neil. That was good. Kneel down.
I can just wait outside.
You can see that there are other monks.
Where are we, by the
And
way?
priests.
Temple of Kord.
Temple of Kord. Oh,
Yeah.
great, yeah.
You're currently talking to the head priest, who's like the massive, like, built, like, sleeveless priest that you would originally met.
Just a priest.
Much like Jason
Nice,
Statham as a priest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Nice biceps, mate. Love it. Big fan. You want me to-
Kneel! And then, like, as he says that, like, the actual temple itself, like, echoes and shakes a little.
Alright.
This took a real turn.
I'll
Upstairs.
I'll kneel down and be like, why?
And he like places a hand on your forehead, which, to be fair, you know, you're a big guy, but he's also got quite big hands and like engulfs the top part of your head. And he kind of
What's going on?
says a few words, and you can see that he has like the symbol of Kord in his hand. It kind of glows brightly, and he kind of removes his hand and leaves like a slight white handprint, which very quickly becomes black and kind of dissipates into Ulrich's greenish pale skin.
You satisfied?
You said you saw two men, two people.
I don't know, I was chained to a table at the time. Again, this is not normal nightmares for everybody.
You have made a deal with something that you do not understand.
Yeah. Yeah,
To be
I'm
fair, I
getting
don't,
that.
he didn't make the deal, so it's
That,
not like
that
his
that's
fault.
true.
That's not better.
No, but like, yeah, okay.
The deal was made on my behalf, I believe. It's all a bit hazy. I was dead at the time, so. We heading out. We all good.
Well, we're in a place where we may be able to get some help for this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not something that we kind of gestures towards the various monks that have begun taking a bit more of like an aggressive stance. Some of the nearby pupils are a bit like shook by his response to you. If you are to continue with this walk,
Rude.
I would do so lightly. There is something that lays claim to him that is, well, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of it when whatever it is gets you. I would research this if you can. There are people that make deals with entities, but this is different.
You don't get a sense of who or what.
Death. In some form or another, death has a grasp upon you.
Well, doesn't death have a grasp on us all? Suddenly very philosophical.
Perhaps not in quite the same way, my friend.
Death is around us all. At any given moment, we could be struck by lightning. Blessed.
Blessed up.
But
#blessed.
death,
Hashtag
it
ass.
seems to be woven into your very soul.
Well, that's quite chilling, isn't it? What do I do about that then?
Well, ideally, you don't die again.
Well, it seems quite difficult for me. I seem to die quite a lot.
I mean, if I was you, for the good of everybody else around you, I would lock myself in a deep, dark hole and not show your face again.
Seems
But
rather lonely.
if this one continues to travel with you, perhaps you could find a way to at least stop your suffering.
You see, they do talk about killing me quite often. I have noticed that.
In a worst case scenario, we're
Yeah.
prepared to fell him.
Yeah.
He's aware. And
I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, but I guess.
Sure.
Given what is latched to him, worst case scenario may not be the worst.
No. Yeah. So if he dies again, maybe
he dies,
take
he
his
dies.
head, or and then he'll be a headless giant orc swinging axes around.
Just be careful.
Of course. And thank you for your guidance.
It's been a bit strange, but thank you. Peace be with you.
I'm sure the feeling is. I'm sure the feeling is mutual.
Yeah, I'm sorry for causing an issue that seems to happen wherever I go. I'm gonna head out because I don't.
Probably best.
Yeah. Don't like the vibe in here.
I'm head out.
I was kind of like little bow in reverence, and I'll summon. I'll cast Summon Steed, and Monty will appear alongside me with a bit of a crackle and flash of lightning because of where we are.
We better get our cart before we leave the city.
Certainly.
That's right. At some point.
So, you guys head off.
That was fucking weird, wasn't it, guys? Ooh.
I was ready to fight some monks.
Well,
I thought it was really going to go bad. I mean, I wouldn't want to.
no, I mean, I don't know who I would have had to
Yeah, that would have been tough
conflict
for
of interest, you know.
you. Maybe just sit it out.
I also don't think we would have fared especially well.
No.
Like, we're great and everything, but there were, what, 80 of them?
Mm.
It's a lot of monks.
Yeah.
Sabine, You've had hangovers before,
Yes.
and it's been we're probably pushing 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon. Normally they would have somewhat like subsided by this point now. You just have this real. Your whole body feels just uncomfortable. Like it's hard for you to remain still. You feel like unsettled, and hot and clammy. You just don't feel that great.
Hey, Owen, you know you had a look at me.
He's not here.
Oh, he's at the.
He's at the
Hey,
other
Owen.
temple.
He's talking to his
Guess I'll just feel like shit then.
girlfriend. You're not feeling well?
You're my
No, I
girlfriend.
just feel. I think I need a baraka or something. I don't know.
Well, hang on.
It's
Come here.
pronounced Arakokra.
No, right, I need one of them.
I can. So I have a pool of. For my lay on hands, I can spend 5 HP to cure a disease or neutralise a poison. So I'll try and do that. So I will kind of lean down off of one floor, tap you on the shoulder. You'll feel like a warm pulse kind of go through your shoulder. Whether it works or not, I don't know. But
Hey, yeah. Places his hand upon you. You feel like a slight tinge of static. It's warm. Stomach feels less queasy.
It's done something. Thank you.
it's quite alright.
We should probably buy you a mask at some point because I'm.
Sorry. Keep bumping into you.
Hi, nice to see you.
Oh,
I'll cover up, I
my poor
promise.
heart.
Do you remember where
Just go to the mash up.
Yeah.
Owain's house of sin is? His little, the little chapel of simping.
It's actually just a peep show with 3 sisters.
No.
No. Simon cut that.
No, I don't think I joined you on any of those simping times.
Wouldn't take you too long to find it. And as you are trying to find it. Owain, you make your way to the... It's somewhat upsetting for you as a devout follower of Sainin to see this massive temple of Kord and to kind of turn off right down an alley and then there's... It's a decent size, but it is very clear that Sainin is not one of the more sought after gods in this particular city.
Not quite as revered.
Yes. Which is unsurprising in a city that reveres someone who's all about strength, fighting, honour, and then trickery and...
Yeah. Makes sense. So I'm just going to hurriedly just hood up and try and discreetly take in my surroundings before just like heading in with the intention, quick prayer, check in, see how she's doing, let her know how I'm doing, get out.
Yeah. You cast any spells or anything like that, or are you just trying to connect?
He's always trying to connect. Dirty bird.
Yeah, baby, you trying to link up? Hell yeah.
It's always
Just hang out, yeah.
There's always HMU, not UMH.
I'm gonna.
Whatever that means.
You gonna come?
You
Hit me up.
no, I
Yeah,
was saying
shit.
UMH. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
You me hit?
Just didn't know.
UHT.
You're
It's when doing milk. Yeah.
Bear with me once.
That's what gets it done.
Okay. So you you take a moment, collect yourself, and there are a few other people in here as well, but you hear a voice behind you. Excuse me.
And I pretend that's not aimed at me.
You hear a couple of footsteps come closer to you, and you can feel the proximity of a hand near you, but it's not actually touching you. Excuse me, sir.
And then I turn and stand up rather quickly.
Oh, so sorry. You are one of the members of the Deaf Hums?
Who's asking?
Wow. No, I'm afraid you're mistaken.
Make a deception check.
Oh, he lying.
You lying to your way.
15.
I apologise. I thought you were one of the members of the Deaf Hums.
That's quite flattering, but no.
I heard he was an elf. Didn't tend to get too many elves that take part in those competitions, so...
From my understanding, he has a bit of a bulkier face than mine.
Ah, yes. You do look a bit gaunt.
Skipped breakfast to be here.
My mistake. Then he turns and walks off.
Okay. Do I recognise what he's dressed in? Actually, as he said, asked if he was looking for an elf. What race was he?
He was himself.
Oh, okay. And then, do I recognise what he was wearing?
From what he was wearing, it wasn't anything reminiscent of home.
Okay.
It just looked like fairly medium income clothing. It just seems like perhaps he saw you enter, thought he'd take a chance.
Yeah.
But was clearly mistaken.
Okay. I'll go to just, say a quick prayer. Thank Sabine for getting me through the last battles. And pray that she keeps me and the party safe for the upcoming journey. And then just turn to leave and head in the direction of the Temple of Kord.
As you come out back onto that main strip that leads up to the Temple of Kord, and you bump into these guys. Hey!
Woo! Got some good sync bands. You look a bit... What's wrong?
Looking a bit gaunt, mate.
Look like you skipped breakfast.
I think our time here is probably coming to an end, so we should maybe make haste.
Well, you're dying too.
He's a bit skittish about being caught. It's fair enough.
Why?
We'll leave shortly. We need to procure a mask of some kind for our green friend.
Yeah, it's a bit fleshy, isn't it?
If we have time, I did hope to visit the smith just to touch up the...
Well, if we're getting a kind of gladiatorial mask, the smith would probably be the place to go. So let's...
I could have something with horns, couldn't I?
I need to pick up my chromatic bolts from
That's true.
the guy who made the bolts. Don't know if they'd be ready in time. I can't remember how long he said. I can find out. I can find out.
Yeah. So you make your way back over to the more blacksmithing quarter. As you're making your way back towards that area, you can see that there is quite a heavy plume of black smoke kind of billowing from different areas here. It certainly seems like manufacturing and excavation of the mines has kind of gone back into full swing. You head back to the... God, I'm going to have to fucking find all the damn notes.
Is this the dude that you came here looking for in the first place?
Well, I thought it was the Master Smith. Yeah.
Well, is a
It's
Master Smith,
yeah.
but was not what you were here for.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. Sorry, it's the wrong
So
music.
if we won, he'd take him under his wing.
Yeah. But we did not win.
We did not win.
No wings.
Yeah, he ain't gonna work no scrub.
Scrub is not that can't get no love from him. It's Eon's Enchanted Goods that I need to head to as well.
Ah,
To
yes.
pick up the remaining bolts.
Yeah.
Did you have a number of how many?
20 more bolts I need to get.
The cost.
They were 60 gold, which I paid at the time.
Won't be going for too much longer, boys. Sexy boys.
Sexy boys. I think you're freaky and I like you.
It's a good trill on it. I like it a lot, but
it's strangely arousing.
Don't you suppose you have this in your notes, Tim?
What's it looking for?
Take that as a no.
I
I've just got
my
to find the
notebook on me.
Smiths.
What was his name?
That's fine. I found it. Greystone.
Greystone.
Cool. So you make your way to Greystone Smith and enter. The familiar, somewhat nervous looking teen
Oh yeah.
is still there, organising and curating what is in the shop and making sure that there isn't anything that needs to be sharpened or anything along those lines. As you come in, oh, hey. Whew. Hello. That is a face.
Yeah.
it's impolite to stare.
I mean, no, you can stare if you want to.
That is a ceiling.
Look, you can see my teeth. Yeah. It's his tongue around his teeth like that.
Oh,
It's partly why we're here to get.
to just cover it up.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm.
It does make sense.
Mm.
We have a couple of things just...
Is Greystone about as well? Need to speak to him.
I believe that he is still out back. I haven't heard him working, but he could be just designing something.
Perhaps you could design something for our friend here. Something
He
custom.
could. It would probably take some time to make it, but certainly give it a red hot go.
I just need something simple, really.
Yeah.
Got
I
any
mean,
masks?
we've got various ones, and he kind of goes through, and there's one which is like it's almost like a helmet, but it also has like one of those like gladiator, like almost like crying faces, so it folds up, which is pretty cool. He's got one that has various like little holes, a couple of eye holes, no like mouth covering, a couple of red markings, just a simple strap around the back of the head.
I'd be Jason.
That is so sick.
There's a
That's pretty cool.
he kind of we've got a few. I mean, I've got this, and he just pulls out like a sack, cut some holes in it. I don't know if you want it to be protective or not, but
Wouldn't be the first time I've worn a sack over my head, not gonna lie.
haven't we all?
Is there like a...
No, I'm a virgin.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I guess. Sorry.
I don't suppose there's a tanner nearby.
Tanner. I mean, along this strip, somewhere, more than likely.
Do you think they'd have access to like a skull? Just thinking potentially a bone mask might be quite intimidating.
Dude, love bones.
Don't we all? Sorry, I'm trying to get involved. No, it's fine. It's okay. Yes, more than likely. It just would. What skull they have probably vary, but
Can I see the the helmet?
the helmet.
The first one that you...
Yes.
I see it.
It isn't sized, so I mean, be careful.
I'm not careful. Trying to fit it on my head.
Make an athletics check.
That's enough of that.
26.
26.
There you go.
As,
Advantage if you roll again.
That's true. That's only on certain things actually.
as tight as it is, you squeeze your head into it. And for the rest of you, you do see some of that newer skin kind of slide off a little bit as he kind of forces it down. And it's weird because the bottom half of his jaw kind of like billows out a little bit.
So it's like a much smaller face on top of his face.
Yeah, so at the moment it's just like a perfectly boxed Ulrich head, and then you can and put it down. It's awful.
How long would it take to get it sized properly?
Yeah, it's a bit. I can't. I'm gonna pass out.
Resized for something like that. Shouldn't take too long. We kind of just need to heat the metal up again and just let it expand and maybe just give it a couple of good taps just to kind of get it out a little bit.
I'll try and jimmy it off the back of his head, like just go it.
Make an athletics check.
You pull his scalp off.
That's an unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. With a bit more difficulty than what he managed to get it on. Weirdly, you managed to take it off.
It's just like wedged and
Yeah, like all of your like meat, your meaty head has like just like filled this helmet. But you pull it off, and it just tears that soft skin. So like the top part of your jaw from like there to there is just fully exposed now. So you can all just see teeth.
Oh
fuck!
It just gets worse.
That didn't hurt, did it?
No.
It just takes the helmet off you. Thank
I
you.
peel the skin away.
I might need to.
I'll
Give it a wash, perhaps.
I'll clean it.
Yeah.
I'll clean it.
Real good bleach.
If we give you an hour and a half.
This would probably take the better part of the afternoon. So if you pop back before we close later on this evening, we'll have it ready.
Sounds good.
How much for that?
For that, call it 2 gold.
Do I have any money? Let's have a look.
Guess I'll be paying for it.
So good.
I'm so sorry, Danilo.
Yeah, I've actually got some money. I'll pay you now if that's alright.
Yeah.
It's
Warm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Imagine that on your face.
I'm gonna go again. Get rid of this.
You can see Ulrich absentmindedly playing with his teeth, with his tongue. It's like,
I don't suppose you were at the tournament.
I managed to catch some of it. Yeah.
How did you find it?
It was good. I did lose a little bit of money though, unfortunately. The bone breakers, I kind of had them down to make it far, but
They were very inebriated before
They're
any
so drunk.
of the festivities began. So
that's what I've heard.
yeah.
Hey, what are you gonna do, eh?
Anyway,
I'm just gonna get rid of the vomit.
Yes.
Okay.
could I speak to Greystone?
Oh, I mean, you're more than welcome to try. If he doesn't speak to you, don't take it personally.
Fair.
Oh, I forgot there's holes in it. Oh god.
I'll just go in the back and see if I can see him.
And you can. He's shirtless, big old smithing gloves on, kind of long grey hair, and a bit like a fairly thick carpet of back hair that's somewhat matted because of the heat of the forge. It's gross, but manly.
But also
Ulrich loves that.
But he's just like leant over something, working on like sketching something out.
Hi, Greystone.
Hey.
I thought I'd just stop by and say thank you very much for the offer. Obviously, but obviously
You lost, didn't you?
We didn't win.
Yeah, I heard about that. Oh. Won't be training you.
I figured as much. I have other stuff to do, but maybe another time, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Well, was there anything you wanted in particular?
No, your assistant sorted me out with a mask for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
he told you to come in here, did you?
No, I came in on my own accord. Don't blame him for that.
Make a deception check.
11. No shit.
Right. Well,
But I'll leave it to you.
maybe another
Besides,
time, eh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Keep up that smithing, eh? Just gets back to drawing.
He like maybe tries to go and shake his hand, realizes he's not watching at all, and just kind of turns around.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ready to go?
Yeah, we've got some time to kill. We're meeting. Well, I say we're meeting. We're rendezvousing with your pal tomorrow morning, so we've got the afternoon.
I need to pick up my bolts from Eon.
Let's go do that.
As you exit, you hear God damn it! Yeah. Ah! Oh God! I've got vomit on me now! Oh God!
I love their relationship.
That's so cute.
For the sake of once again, for the sake of brevity, you head over. You pick up your bolts. Mark off. Had you?
I'd used some. I'm keeping.
Cool. You keep track of the ones that you've added. Mark off any gold if you've had to pay for it. Cool. Unless there's anything else, we'll head back to the inn. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Well, I mean, for most of you, sleep gets to you pretty quickly. Sabine. You.
Sorry, didn't Ulrich need to pick up the thing before, or are we
Oh,
just
yeah, you
napping before?
We'll say that he's
Oh,
gone
yeah,
and picked it up. So you've now got that helmet resized, and I'll show you what it looks like.
Cool.
Yes, Sabine, you feel you struggle to get to sleep. It's a pretty intense fever. Might maybe laugh.
You give me fever.
Got your cowbell?
Yeah.
Paracetamol and a cold strip. Fine. Thanks. Yeah.
Just gonna.
Cold compress.
That might save the bloodlust.
Let's go for something. Let's go for this one. There you go. Cool. So you struggle to get to sleep. Boiling hot. Like you feeling. It's so hot that even just your skin feels like it's burning and just smothering you. And you start scratching at your own skin, and you slowly start peeling it away. And as you do, you see not blood, not tissue, but fur. You keep scratching, and eventually you have claws. You feel better though. You feel stronger. You feel just hungry. And you kind of black out a little bit. You come to and you see someone seems to be just like making their way down an alley. And you start running at them. And just as they turn, you kind of see a splash of blood as you tear out their throat with your own mouth. And there's a small part of the back of your mind that's like, this isn't right. I shouldn't be doing this. But all the front of your mind can scream is, eat. And you tear this person apart. And then you wake up. Your body feels sore. It's still somewhat dark out. Windows open. You look at yourself. You don't appear to have anything on you. But you just feel weird.
Well, that's fucking creepy.
And that's where we'll pick up next time.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, 11:30, not too bad.
Yeah,
Not too bad. Apologies, Tim, that there was a lot that you just kind of had to sit through.
That's
but
cool.
when your character can't die that easily, hey, there's got to be trade-offs.
That's right. It was a good day.
So, just quickly, of course, you will level up. Rob, you had leveled up. You rolled 8 for hit points. We'll just quickly do that, just so that listener can.
Alright, I already did it.
Oh,
Yeah.
What did you roll?
I got 2.
2. Okay, unfortunate.
I get some hit points back.
You do, just for you to lose them again.
Let's roll it.
So I'm up to 84.
Getting up there, getting close to trip dig.
Manage levels.
What's that?
10.
10 for Ulrich, very nice. I think that pretty much undoes the ones that you lost.
Yeah.
And George, what are you going for?
I'm gonna go and boost fighter. So
Nice.
that's a D10, isn't it?
D10.
2.
2. Okay. You win some, you lose some. And we'll get Danilo to do his beginning of the next session and see what he does. But yeah, there you go. Sorry about the break. We'll try and get a little bit more regularity with these. But yeah, we're on the cusp of leaving Monolun. With some of the party that couldn't come any sooner.
Yep.
Right, well, thanks for joining us. As always, head to Spotify, YouTube, social media, and we'll see you all in the next session.
Peace.